product this year, I will be creating a travel and tourism magazine. My travel and tourism magazine has the core concept of exploring Melbourne to create a bucket list of all things people either living in Melbourne or visiting Melbourne should do. I believe that a magazine is the best form of media for my piece as it allows me to add text to not only explain the photographs I have taken, but to communicate a purpose with the audience. Overall, the option to create a magazine was a much better option for me as it allows me to explore photography and use the skills that I do have, rather than taking on a video which I know was challenging for me in the last SAF. The purpose of my magazine will be to inform readers of the things they can do in Melbourne, as well as entertain through the use of text and visual. I aim to create a magazine in the genre of travel and tourism that conveys places and events to explore in the city of Melbourne. I hope to encourage people to travel within the city of Melbourne and explore not only events and places that are widely publicised and recognised, but events and places which are more hidden as well. The magazine will follow typical conventions, including having a column layout for each page and advertising within the cover page to ensure that the magazine is easily recognisable and familiar for readers. As the magazine includes both text and images, I'll be taking photos myself around Melbourne of the events that I go. The purpose of this is to make both my magazine more in-depth through the use of writing about my own experiences, as well as to develop a greater connection with my audience through the use of personalisation. This should hopefully make the piece more interesting, which will encourage the reader not only to continue reading but to also share the magazine with others, thus creating publicity through word of mouth. I have chosen the magazine as my media form as I believe it is more fitting to the purpose of my concept than using photography or film. It allows me to incorporate photography, which captures visual representations of the places and events in Melbourne, yet it also allows me to add text in the form of captions and articles to give further meaning and context to the images I have taken, thus fulfilling the purpose of my media piece. I am also aiming to target a demographic of people aged from 25 to 40, who are more likely to be receptive towards a magazine format due to the ease of accessibility. The magazine will be both digitally and commercially available at newsagents and magazine stands, which fits the target demographic. People aged 25 and 30 are more likely to be receptive towards my media product if it can be accessed online, as that is the most common source of media for that age bracket. People aged above 35 are more likely to source my media product in a physical format, which is why it will be available at stores as well as online. A magazine is a format that is both informal and formal. This is another factor that makes the format of a magazine appropriate to the purpose of my product. I will be able to include formal elements that will address the purpose of informing the audience about events and places in Melbourne. I will then also be able to include informal elements that will address the purpose of entertaining the reader, which makes this format the most suitable to convey my media product and concept. Thank you for listening to my magazine pitch, and I'm really looking forward to creating it this year.